On the air everywhere, this is New England Broadcasting.
Welcome to the Ron Van Dam Show. Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. I am Ron Van Dam. Thank you so much for naming me. Well, as you know, if you listen to this program on a regular basis, we do a ton of interviews on this show, informational segments with doctors and celebrities and experts and all this kind of stuff. And we hear from the horse's mouth, not that we interview horses or anything like that, but we interview experts, and they're called the horses. So this is a slew of them. There's about an hour and a half of these interviews. It's all information. And who knows, you might pick up some wonderful gift ideas for the holiday, or some food ideas, or maybe learn how to manage a problem or a disease that you may have contracted or could contract, or how to take care of life situations. The experts are all here today. So let's get started. Here they are, one after the other, in rapid parade succession. Hello, Abe.
Hi, Ron.
How are you today?
Good. Yourself?
Great. Abe Kamarck joins us, CEO and founder of True Made Foods. And we're talking, well, first of all, I understand that you were a Navy pilot.
Yeah, that's correct. I was a Navy pilot for 8 years and got out, started working in entrepreneurship. First started overseas, worked all over the place, and then came home and decided, it's time to solve a problem at my own dinner table.
That's
so
crazy. And you created True Made Foods. How do you go from Navy pilot to the food business?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty natural thing. I mean, everybody has problems, right? And I just wanted to solve this problem. So, I have 4 kids too, and what we discovered is we try to eat very healthy, and one of the challenges you have as a parent when you're trying to eat healthy is ketchup. Ketchup's a big problem. Yeah. If you don't realize that ketchup has more sugar than ice cream. It's probably the least healthy thing in your refrigerator, unless you have barbecue sauce, which is worse.
Wow.
It's like barbecue sauce has more sugar than a soda per serving.
Wow.
And so, we wanted to eat healthy, so we tried to create a better ketchup and barbecue sauce. And we took out the corn syrup, reduced the sugar, and used veggies to naturally sweeten it. So we put in carrots, butternut squash, spinach, keeping all the same flavor, reducing the sugar significantly, and putting vegetables back into the diet. So I thought it was a parent's dream come true, and I'm hoping other parents think so too. And so far, it's really taken off, especially thanks to help from Penn Fed and their recent investment in us and the Venture Entrepreneur Program.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I've been looking for that for a long time, something with less sugar. I think we all, whether you have a condition or not, I mean, that's definitely more healthy. And yeah, I do rifle through the barbecue sauces. And I read all the labels, and they're all full of crap. So good. Well, I'll be looking for your brand, that's for sure. Now, but you were this PenFed Foundation apparently kind of helped you along in starting this business up.
Yeah, they recently invested in us, and we're part of their Veteran Entrepreneur Program, and they have this great marketing program to help veterans up. They are one of their recent marketing programs about us going out to their members, increased our Amazon sales 5-fold. So it was an amazing hit for us, just creating awareness. One of the challenges as a veteran is, you don't have that network coming out after spending years in the military. You don't have that business network connection, and Penn Fed is helping bridge that gap and helping bring us together and giving us these opportunities. One of the the theory behind this, and the theory behind a few of my investors have invested in them that backed me so far, is that given an even playing field, the veteran is going to outdo the average entrepreneur, and so far I think we're going to prove them right.
So let's tie in football, because it's football season, with what you do and where you've come from, and because tailgating is a part of the barbecue sauce experience. So this is a good opportunity for people to try this out.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity, and especially because people don't realize this, but your tailgating doesn't have to be so unhealthy. Really, it's the condiments that are the worst part of any tailgating experience. They've been overlooked But, that barbecue sauce that most people are buying has 16 grams of sugar per serving. A Krispy Kreme donut has 11 grams of sugar.
Don't even go there.
So you're killing yourself. So, go to Dunkin', leave the barbecue sauce at home for that, and grab ours, You get grab our barbecue sauce, put it into your food, start cooking with it, or even if you grab our sriracha or our vegetable sriracha and start cooking with that. You know what? You're going to be, that has no added sugar. It's just vegetables. Really, you're just adding nutrition, and you're taking out all those terrible refined sugars. There's a lot of other quick little, and you can do that same thing of like adding veggies into things at a given time. You do a baked mac and cheese, cook some pureed butternut squash in there, something like that. You don't even know it's there. It adds a lot of sweetness and some thickness to the dish, and a ton of nutrition.
I can see your product just like hitting every corner of the food industry, because I know I'm not alone in looking at sugars, and then there's the artificial sugars, which are even worse. And but I know that there are foods that are natural in sugar, and there are spices that take the place of sugar and that are far healthier. And I've always wondered why nobody ever gave me anything that I could use as an alternative from that.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to push here. I mean, what we've realized, if you look back, the reason I got this idea is, my mom's side's Italian. Yeah. We always grew up making pasta sauce, doing it from scratch, and we use carrots as a sweetener, right? And my mom always said lazy Italians use sugar, right?
Yeah,
so we would never have sugar in our household, and we use these carrots, and I realized at some point, if it works for pasta sauce, and we used the same idea for chili, why wouldn't it work for a ketchup? And lucky enough, once we started experimenting with it, it did, and makes a great tasting ketchup. If my 5-year-old eats it, then it passes the test, right?
Yeah.
You can't fool them. So it's a fantastic opportunity here to really cut a significant amount of sugar out of your diet. If the average American switched to our ketchup and didn't eat, the standard ketchup anymore, they would cut out the equivalent of about 800 sodas worth of sugar out of their diet.
And especially for children, because when you're a child and you have that kind of sugar diet, that follows you the rest of your life, and then you got a problem and you can't get off of it because it's like a drug. A child being raised properly with foods that aren't full of sugar is that's the biggest blessing of all, I guess.
Yeah, and every parent has had this challenge where you want your kids to eat the food, you made a healthy meal for them, and you're trying to get them to eat healthier, and they're insisting on pouring the ketchup all over the food, and you're caught between getting into another battle over whether or not they're going to eat the food, or whether or not you're just going to give up and let them go on the ketchup. And ketchup tends to be the battle that people lose. But now you can let them pour the ketchup all over it and feel better about it.
And the funny thing is, when you're used to a good natural product like that without the sugar, and then you go to something that has sugar in it, you go, ew, that's not good anymore. What happened there? How did the stuff that I love, now it grosses me out. It's interesting. The body does that thing to you.
Yeah, you finally get your body adjusts, and it comes back to normal kind of thing, and you stop getting addicted to this thing. We've gotten off the addiction.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and the earlier we can cut the addiction with the kids, the better. I mean, luckily our ketchup and barbecue sauce and our sriracha are super sweet, so everybody loves it. Kids don't know the difference.
Yeah.
I've even had parents, put our stuff in Heinz bottles just to fool their kids initially.
That's funny. That's funny.
And so it works really well. But then I've also had parents tell me, hey, when we go out to a restaurant, the kids complain about the ketchup the restaurant serves because it doesn't taste as good.
Good. Don't go out to eat so much. Cook at home. Cook at home, and let your kids learn how to cook too. Absolutely. Where can I get a list of all the products that are available, all the different sauces that would be different here?
Yes, we're TrueMadeFoods.com. You can check out all our sauces. We're also all on Amazon. Most of our products are sold in the Boston area at Star Market. Ketchups at all the Shaws.
Great. Our
low-sugar ketchups at all the Shaws. We have a brand new no-sugar ketchup, which is only on Amazon right now. Hopefully in 2019 it'll start hitting all the stores.
Beautiful.
So Roche Brothers, Star Market, Shaws,
nice.
And a lot of the independents in the Boston area and throughout New England carry us as well.
Beautiful. And
Wegmans, of course, too.
Wegmans has everything. My God, I mean, what about some recipes that would involve some of the products? Are they also on that website?
Yeah, you can find some recipes on our website. There's a link right there. Also on our blog, we've got some grilling tips and things like that. So, yeah, some fantastic recipes, and we span it, and we go, we try to make comfort food healthy again, taking it back to the way that Grandma used to make it before, the big corporations ruined it for us. And we're also trying to, try to show you if you want to be vegan, we'll show you how to do that. And if you want to be paleo, we can show you how to do that as well.
Beautiful. Well, that's True Made Foods, and the Penn Fed Foundation helped you get there, and they can also be looked up on the Google machine as well. Hey, Abe, pleasure speaking to you. It's an inspiration, and also might make me healthier, so this is pretty good. And
there you go.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Tom Brady does it. It's got to be good for you, right? So.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Abe.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it.
Hi, Ron.
How you doing there, Bob?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Bob Guiney joins us now. You may remember him from The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, all those things, and he's been on network on various panel situations, Today Show, etc. But now he's reached the pinnacle of his career, and he's on this program.
The apex,
as it were. Well, one of the most difficult things in the entire world is what gifts you get for men, because we're kind of tough to purchase for. We usually have no interest whatsoever, and anything that we need, actually all we need are socks and underpants, but it should go further than that. So
we get mad when we get those as a gift. I mean, we
do
want those things.
Well,
we don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But you don't know what color to get, so that's difficult too.
Exactly.
All right. So what do we get for the guys? If you're a woman listening, or perhaps a guy, it's even hard shop for another guy. What do we do here?
Well, with Black Friday coming up, obviously this is the time to get a big jump start on your holiday shopping. And for me, I mean, this is something that I literally live by, and it's a great gift. You can never go wrong with a gift of food. Uh-huh. It is a gift of an occasion. It's a reason to get together with family and friends. Delicious meals, great conversations. I legitimately give this gift exactly that I'm going to tell you about right now to my father 3 times a year. It's Omaha Steaks. It's a tasteful gift package.
Yep.
Filet mignon, top sirloin, pork chops, potatoes au gratin. My favorite, a little dessert item, caramel apple tartlet. You get all of it for under $70 and free shipping. So it's pretty spectacular, and the greatest part about this gift is you get to eat it too when you see your dad, or when you see, when you see people. This is a great gift you get to share, and it's America's original butcher. Omaha Steaks is a 5th-generation family-owned company. They've been providing gourmet foods for over 100 years.
Yep.
Super easy to order. You go to omahasteaks.com, call or visit one of the 60 retail stores across the country, and you just take it home with you. So I love giving the gift of food because, frankly, I get to eat it as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'll say nice about Omaha Steaks, there's many things to say, but you always know the quality's going to be there. You never have to go to a supermarket and wonder, is it going to be tough? Did I overcook it? But these steaks are perfect every time.
Every single time. And I got to be honest, I don't know how they do it, because
I don't either.
I've ordered a ton of them, and they arrive, and it's inexpensive. It's great cuts of meat. It's literally, as you said, it's always tender, always tasty. It's just an awesome gift to give. And so, literally for me, like I just sent one to my father for Thanksgiving, sent one for Father's Day because I knew I'd see him that weekend, and I could grill him up for him. So it's pretty awesome. I think it's a great gift to give, and it really takes the guesswork out of things.
Okay, that's one thing. All right, we got that, but usually that's not enough. Or maybe somebody you know hates food. I don't know. What's another alternative that you can get for a guy?
If somebody hates food, I'm not buying them anything.
Okay, all right, that's
no way
it.
we can be friends.
The relationship is over. That's it.
Yeah. My body was sculpted from caramel apple tartlets. So I will tell you, a lot of people have a ton of different interests, and for the person who likes camping or anyone who takes a day trip, we've got something great for you. It's OtterBox Trooper Soft Coolers. These are awesome. They look great. They hold ice for over 3 days, come in 30-quart and 20-quart sizes. They have a really sturdy frame, but they're soft coolers, and they're super durable. And they have added accessories like collapsible storage containers, cup holder mounts. So that's kind of cool for the stocking stuffer type feel. They also offer a full lineup of hard-sided Venture coolers for the longer excursions. And they're just great. I mean, honest to God, these are great looking. They're wonderful to work with. They're super lightweight, so the only weight that's going to be in there is what you put in there. Really spectacular gifts. They're called They're literally the OtterBox Trooper soft coolers. These things are great.
Did you say it holds ice for 3 days?
3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know it. So you can put some stuff in there, and, like say you're out boating for the weekend, throw some stuff in there, and maybe it'll still be good the next morning, because that's how these things work.
That's
great.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't mean to say that, but it's pretty
Hey,
cool. Hey,
I saw what you did there, Ron.
Yeah,
Nice work.
It was not intentional. It really wasn't. Okay.
See, that's a gift in and of itself right there, my friend.
Yes, it
That's
is.
a gift you can't give. Now, I got another one. This is a fun and unique way to liven up a party. This is something kind of new. They're called the Chemion glasses. Now, these are interesting. I don't know why, but it always makes me think of that music video, I'm Sexy and I Know It, that song.
Yeah.
Basically, they display customized messages and animations on the glasses. So you're wearing glasses, and there's things just jetting across them. You can say Happy Holidays, whatever you want. Through the Bluetooth via the Chemion app. They also include awesome equalizer effects that play animations to the beat of any music.
Really?
They're lightweight and foldable, illuminative. You can store 5 messages that can be interchanged with a touch of a button.
Really?
I think this to me is this just screams Happy New Year. You know what I mean? Like these are the glasses you'd wear on New Year's Eve to a party, and everyone would be like, "Oh, those are the coolest glasses ever." So that's something a little bit different.
I've got to admit, I would have never thought of inventing that.
No, neither would I. I would have never thought of that either. I will tell you, I don't think they work so well, and like they're not really. They look like blue blockers, mean something kind of sexier, but probably not great to be driving in them.
Yeah, okay.
You can't really see. They're not going to really shield the sun.
Well, there's no point.
But,
there's no point.
Yeah, they're party glasses.
Sure.
So.
What else do you have in your bag of tricks, which seems to be quite large?
Thank you so much. Well, this is actually this one is something I think you're going to relate to. I know I can relate to this. It drives me crazy. Remote rage. So you got a half a dozen remote controls sitting around to watch something on TV. You want to watch Apple TV. You want to watch the DVD. Whatever you want to do. Yeah. Well, the Cavo Control Center fixes that in an instant. So all you need is just one voice-activated device for everything connected to your TV: cable, streaming, YouTube, AirPlay, Chromecast, all of it. You can connect up to 4 devices plus a sound bar or a sound system, and you just speak to the remote and tell it what you want to watch. And the control center will take you straight to that show. There's no need to search through multiple apps and services, and there's no need to have like 47 remote controls laying on your console there. It's pretty awesome.
I would get off on just something doing what I asked them to do immediately. That would be pretty cool.
That would be a nice gift for the holidays too. Just once. Can someone please listen to me?
Yeah. Thank you
I feel your pain, Ron.
Yeah, no kidding. What else you got there?
You know what? We got tons of great ideas. Like as we mentioned, all of these. You can always go to dailylounge.com. You can check out all the great gift ideas we talked about today. There's plenty more stuff there for you as well for Black Friday. So get your shopping shoes on. It's time.
So if you don't know what to get for somebody, man or woman or dog, Daily Lounge is your place to go to give you ideas.
It is indeed.
Fantastic.
It's a great spot.
Well, it's great. Bob, thanks so much for your time today. Good times.
Thanks, Rod. Have a happy Thanksgiving, man.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, good morning, Ron.
How are you today, Andrew?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great. Andrew Krasny joins us now. He's a TV host and consumer trends expert. He's also been the person behind many of the greatest stars of our time, including Martin Short and, of course, Joan Rivers, who you had worked with for so many years. He joins us now to help us out during the holiday season because we don't know what to do. We have no idea what's trending and what people might like, and it's a lot. So we turn to you. Where do we start?
Well, I'll tell you, Ron, what's trending for sure is gaming. Gaming's more popular than ever.
Really?
So if you have a gamer in your life, one great gift for a gamer is the gift of accessories, right? They probably already got the game that they want, so why don't you give them something a device of some sort that will make them enhance their experience the best way that you can, like, say, a headset or keyboard. So if you're into gaming, you know that louder is better. You can immerse yourself no matter what platform or what device you're on with the new Recon 200. It's powerful amplified audio with enhanced bass. It's from Turtle Beach. And the headset delivers high-quality game sound with crystal clear chat through 40-millimeter speakers. It's pretty outrageous how sensitive the flip to mute mic is, which means that the gamer can flip that mic to be silent real quick if they have someone else they want to talk to in the room, like their mom and dad saying, hey, I'll be down at dinner in a few minutes.
Oh, really?
It's lightweight, metal-reinforced headband, synthetic leather-wrapped memory foam, provides added durability, and really, when you think about it, for hours and hours of gaming, for the serious gamer, under $60, it's a guaranteed home run.
Oh, what's the name of that again?
That's from Turtle Beach. It's called the Recon 200.
Okay.
Super excited about it.
Okay. Might want to get a piece of paper and write this down. Not you, Andrew, because you already
I
know
hope
this.
so.
I'm talking about other people.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's kind of obvious if your recipient is into gaming. What if you're buying for somebody and there's just nothing barking at you as far as interests are concerned?
Okay, well, listen, you got to have last-minute gifts on hand. I learned that from Joan Rivers many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She actually had a gift closet where she kept really cool things for
Really?
people last minute. She was invited to a dinner party for the holidays. She would grab a bottle of wine. So every holiday season, I try my hardest to find the best wine that's out there at the best possible value. It's not about how much a bottle of wine costs. It's about what it tastes like, right? And is the winery awarded? So I found a winery called Villa Maria, and it makes a great gift this holiday season, a gift for a friend to take to dinner, and you want to find a crowd pleaser. So 2 kinds of wine, right? Your New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, super popular. I found a bubbly version that actually bursts with grapefruit and lime aromas, and it's got a sparkling touch to it. So that's a nice little bit of a surprise. That's for your Sauvignon Blanc lover. And then also from New Zealand, if you have a red wine lover, a Pinot Noir with flavors of tart cherry and cranberry, dried fruits, perfect for the holiday season. It's New Zealand's most awarded winery, Villa Maria. Both of these wines that I'm talking about fit perfectly into a stocking and well under $20.
Wow, that's a big stocking, though.
Well, listen, if you think about it, it's the exact size of a Christmas stocking, and I give wine all the time, especially if I can find an awarded wine for under $20.
Okay. What about?
All right,
yeah, go on.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask about clothing. I mean, that's kind of like very difficult as well. But once someone is into clothing, how do you approach that?
Okay, great question. And this is an amazing gift card to give somebody from a company called Trunk Club. Have you ever heard of Trunk Club?
No, I have not.
All right, let me tell you how it works, okay? Trunk Club is, you start by sharing your size and your style and your fit preference with an expertly trained stylist who actually literally curates a collection of clothing for you. They put a list together, no surprises, they go over it with you, and then what happens is in the mail, you receive a trunk of those items. You try them on, you keep what you want, you ship back for free what you don't want, and it's literally like having a Hollywood stylist do all the legwork for you. And that's a great gift card to give somebody. Owned by Nordstrom's, Trunk Club has well over now 1,000 different brands from men, women, business wear, casual wear, accessories, handbags, you name it.
Okay. What about what about the timing of purchases? Do you shop early, or do you wait till it gets closer, or when the prices might go down a bit? Do you take chances?
No, I believe that actually you get your better prices earlier. Say not too, within about 10 days after Thanksgiving are your best values that you get out there. But for example, gift cards, and like I just talked about getting a gift card for Trunk Club, or I have a great idea for a new gift card that I'll tell you about in a second.
Okay.
You get those now, you're getting what you want to spend, and then your recipient can use them when prices are a little bit better at their discretion. But have you heard of Happy Cards?
I have not.
Okay, available at grocery stores or online at giftcards.com/happy. So this is the first time that I found a gift card company that is actually thinking about their recipient. First of all, what I love the most about Happy Cards, there's no extra fee. You spend $100, $200 on a gift card, you're not paying a service charge at all. You can get them at kiosks at your grocery store, but they're bundled. And what that means, Ron, bundled is actually on the gift card are names of companies. I'll give you an example, like Home Depot or Dell or Burger King or Sephora or Under Armour. They're all designated to say you're teen, a male, a female, tweeners. you name it, and then you give them that gift card, and it lets them know that you've actually thought about them, the kind of things that they like to do, and that gift card is you can redeem it at the specific brands that are on the cover of that card. That's what I mean by bundle.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's awesome because it makes them feel that you're not just giving them a generic gift card that can be used anywhere. It's making them, your recipient, think that you put a little bit of thought towards it. But like I said, what I love, no fee at all. So you're getting exactly what you spend. Perfect.
Well, I know that there are many more ideas than we have time to go over, so where do I get this list from?
Okay, the list that I just gave you, betterstuffforlife.com, and whatever we just talked about, you can specifically go to. For turtlebeach.com, you can go to villamariawines.com. I'm a big fan of their wine, and actually Trunk Club, you can go directly to their website as well.
Perfect. Andrew, have yourself a wonderful holiday as well.
Okay, thanks a million. You too.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Ron. Hi, Ron.
How are you today?
Good. Yourself?
Great. Dr. David Fetzner joins us now. He is the medical director of ultrasound at both the UT Southwestern Medical Center and Parkland Memorial Hospital in Dallas, Texas. And he's on all kinds of boards. And Francisco Brom joins us as well. He's director of global ultrasound marketing at Siemens Healthineers. And I hope I got all that right. That's a lot of credentials between the two of you. We're talking about the high risk of BMI. Let's explain what BMI actually is.
Sure. BMI is a ratio that's calculated based on a patient's height and weight, and it's a number that physicians use to track if a patient is normal weight, overweight, obese, or morbidly obese.
Okay. Most of us only know when the government says this is when you should be concerned and this is when you're okay. Do physicians actually pay much attention to the BMI? I know when I go for my annual or visit my doctor, they weigh me, and that's pretty much all I hear about it.
Sure. Well, it will be different for different body types. Tall people tend to have a higher BMI than average, and short people may have lower.
Okay.
But really a good physician should be taking all body metrics into account, not just the BMI. You know, just like any quick number, you can use that to make a generalization, but really a good physician should be looking at each individual patient themselves and their overall health. And hopefully we'll be able to talk about how obesity and the epidemic of overweight is affecting medical imaging.
Yes, let's talk about that, because we're talking about ultrasound, which most of us are familiar with, but not in a connection to weight management.
Sure. So we're not necessarily talking about today how ultrasound can be used in weight management, but more the effect of obesity on the quality of medical imaging, including ultrasound.
So one's obesity would affect the outcome or efficiency of that type of testing?
Sure. As a radiologist, I see patients in my practice every day who are too large to have a CAT scan or an MRI, or have so much body tissue that it's difficult to penetrate sound waves from the ultrasound unit into the body to make pictures. And so as the patients get larger and larger, the medical imaging gets degraded and the images get less clear, and so us as physicians have a harder time trying to make diagnoses.
In fact, there's a recent report that analyzed over 300 autopsy reports, and they found that people with the high BMI suffered 1.5 times more under misdiagnosed or underdiagnosed medical conditions than regular patients, which is why it's so important that we partner with doctors around the world to understand these challenges so we can come up with novel technologies like the Atkins Sequoia that allows them to penetrate deeper and see and get clearer pictures of the abdomen, of the liver, the kidneys, etc.
See, most of us lay people who just sit around and drink beer all day kind of assume that an ultrasound or that type of technology would cut through everything, but not the case.
That would be the hope, but just like when you're in a apartment or a hotel room with very thin walls, you can hear what's going on right next door. But as the walls get thicker and thicker and thicker, it's harder and harder to hear what's going on. So same thing with the human body. As the tissues get thicker and thicker and thicker, it's more difficult to get those sound waves into the body and get pictures out.
And for example, an average person will have about 1 centimeter of subcutaneous fat that you need to penetrate.
Yes.
But an obese person would have about 8 centimeters on average, and that's extremely difficult for traditional ultrasound image. But now we have something that truly helps them to penetrate up to 40 centimeters in depth and helps doctors really get clearer pictures of what's going on in the liver so they can plan for treatment quicker and can really save people's lives.
So this would be more accurate than... So in other words, we're not really talking about ultrasound. We're talking about an advancement that goes beyond that.
Yes, and us as physicians, we rely very heavily on industry partners to help us address these unmet needs and allow us to see clearer into the body so that we don't miss things like a subtle cancer.
Yeah. God forbid anybody should have a concern in their body and they go for testing and it can't be discerned because of obesity. That becomes a very serious concern.
It is, and it's a concern that every physician is facing, not just in the United States, but worldwide.
And can you imagine you have a condition, you're suffering from a problem, you don't know what's going on, your doctor doesn't know what's going on, he sends you to the imaging center, you do an ultrasound, you do an MRI, you do a CT, they still can't figure it out, so your costs are going up, your anxiety levels are going through the roof, and you still don't have an answer. So this is something that is definitely problematic, and from our side, we want to help doctors like Dr. David Fetzner to get clear pictures, clear images so they can confidently diagnose.
Yeah. Well, this is another component that could scare people enough to get into weight management, but that's not always available, especially in certain parts of this country, as far as actually managing your weight. Yeah, that's pretty scary. That becomes pretty, I shouldn't use the word scary, but concerning should be the proper word.
Even more concerning is the fact that it's almost 100 million people in the United States alone. Almost 40% of the entire population of the United States is considered obese.
Yes.
And it's a number that nearly tripled over the last few decades. So it's something that it's not slowing down, despite all the awareness programs that we have out there. So we have to keep up with this trend. We have to develop new technologies, and we're happy to be here to talk about the X1 Sequoia, because without the help of doctors, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yes. Should also outlaw fried chicken, but I guess you can't do that. Okay. So what if I am in a situation like that and I have ultrasounds done, which is usually the first call of battle? What this technology is being developed, how far along is it?
Well, fortunately, the advances in ultrasound have been significant over the last decade, and we're seeing new tools every year come out. And we're really excited to be able to get these clearer pictures and be able to address these unmet needs, because this problem is not going away anytime soon.
And this product, this new ultrasound device, was just introduced, and it's now available worldwide in most countries. And so we're happy that for the first time we can hear from doctors their reactions, their responses as they use the equipment on very large patients, and they can now see something they couldn't see before. Right.
Unfortunately, because this is somewhat in its infancy as far as popularity is concerned, one still has to go through the other steps before discerning that this next step can be taken. Is that right?
Well, we're hoping that technologies like this one will become standard of care, which means that any patient, no matter where they're going, is getting the same quality care, the same high-level care, no matter where they go. Unfortunately, given that a lot of centers may not focus on the highest quality technology, may not be aware of them, patients should educate themselves about going to centers that have an attention to the highest quality technology and the most advanced technology to make sure they're getting the best imaging possible.
We talk about this all the time on this show when we do interviews of this sort, where the patient really has to be knowledgeable and should be knowledgeable. It's their body. Not every doctor or every, I would say, medical group more specifically, is up or has the availability to these advantages. So it is really kind of up to the patient to suggest these things sometimes.
That is true, and we do see that quite often, patients who come in and they've done their Google search and try to educate themselves on various topics. And so it should be a good, honest, open discussion with a physician to let the physician lead the patient based on what the patient's knowledge is and what they may have read online. But it's true that not every center is going to be the same. You know, the little convenient mom and pop imaging center just down the road may not have access to the same technology as, say, the University Hospital downtown.
Which is why it's also up to us to be here today, talk to you and talk to other news channels to raise this awareness that there are technologies out there, technologies like the Atkins and Sequoia that can help. And you should be aware of them, and you should talk to your doctor about them.
Absolutely. Are there situations where, as a patient, you may feel that, well, I can't really bring that up to my doctor. That's like insulting to my doctor. But they shouldn't feel that way, right?
No, and again, I really appreciate when a patient has been proactive and tried to go online, read, talk to their friends, talk to their family. But it really is most beneficial when you have an open and honest discussion. So I have had some patients who are resistant to talking to a physician and hearing a different point of view because of what they may have read online. So if they're willing to go online and educate themselves, I'm hoping that they can also be receptive to a different point of view maybe than they would have read online during the discussion with their physician.
Okay. So where would I go for more information to gather this knowledge?
You can, about our new ultrasound device, you can Google Sequoia ultrasound, or you can type in Siemens Healthineers ultrasound, and you'll find all of the information that we just discussed and more.
Okay, and just for information, Siemens is spelled S-I-E-M-E-N-S.
Correct.
Siemens ultrasound. Great. Thank you for the information. That's only a good thing to hear from you. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm great. We have retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Evelyn Patricia Foote and Mark King, who's Global Head, Diversity and Inclusion at Kellogg Company. And first of all, we should know, or you should know, that she is the first U.S. Army female Inspector General. And congratulations on that. But besides even that accomplishment, I understand, Pat, that you've really done some incredible stuff in your service here.
I have. My career, Ron, was one that was never intended to be a full-time career, and I refer to it often as my accidental career. Before I say anything further, though, I'm delighted to be here with Kellogg's today, taking part in their Veterans Day observances this week, and getting to see what they are doing to promote veterans' employment within their company, which is extensive.
Yep.
But people have asked me, how in the world did you ever come to be a member of the United States Army for as long as you did? And I said, accidentally.
Right.
I came in for 2 years only to get a sampling of what it would be like to be a lieutenant in the United States Women's Army Corps then, back in 1960. And the thing is that I loved so much the work they gave me working with troop duty, that I decided to stay another year and went out to Portland, Oregon to be a recruiter, and stayed 3 years there and came back to command an all-female unit at Fort Belvoir. But my career came during decades of turbulence, the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Sure.
Social fabric of the country was on its ears. The young people deeply resentful of the war in Vietnam, the women's movement, all things were happening. So I came in, at the time I came in 1960, no woman could be promoted above the rank of lieutenant colonel as an officer or above the rank of sergeant first class as an enlisted woman. We were in the Women's Army Corps, which was gender-based, the corps of women who came together in World War II to help train women so that they could raise men to go to combat.
Right.
But I came in for 2 years and found I was fascinated with the jobs they offered me, and every door that was closed seemed to open just before I got there. And I kept progressing through my career until all of a sudden, 30 years had passed.
Wow. And that can be the blink of an eye. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's about how long I wait at the motor vehicle department to be seen. So that is a long time.
30 years. And, the thing is that the Army, when I first came on, I was not even eligible to be a battalion commander. We only had one battalion that trained women. So I thought, well, that would be off the list. And I would not be ever promoted above the rank of major, but that was off the list because I didn't intend to stay anyhow. But all of the changes in law and policy that fell out year after year after year opened doors that had been completely closed to women when I first came in. And it amazed me. We only had about 11,000 women serving at the time I came in, about 900 officers. And we were pretty well limited to clerical and administrative duties, nothing else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in order to open doors, you have to be standing at the threshold all the time, ready to walk through it, and that's exactly what you did. That's a pretty good analogy, huh? You can use that if you want to. Okay.
Thank you very much for it. There are people who always say, you were the first this, the first that, and the first this. I said the only reason I was the first is the women who came before me, who were so well prepared to fill the job, were not given the opportunity.
Yeah.
And you had to get those doors first.
Yeah.
As it is. Go ahead.
No, well, I'm speaking of opportunity. We talk often on this show about helping veterans get employment when they return and go back to what we call this supposedly normal life, and it's very difficult, obviously, because you've been out of the mix for a while. And there are some companies, such as, I think they're usually large companies such as Kellogg, that have very large human resources departments and kind of understand things. And they actually recognize that it's not necessarily the background, but it's the discipline, the dedication, the intelligence, the teamwork that is naturally displayed by a veteran.
Absolutely. And we have to convince the veterans themselves quite often.
Yeah, I know.
That these are the hidden skills you are bringing that no one else in the room has.
Yeah, but
and getting is very important for the men and women coming out.
But very, very similar to you being there when the door was open is the same thing actually when companies open that door for people. They do have to be there in order to take advantage of that, and well, they should. And that's very important. So, Mark, you're like on top of this, I guess.
Well, I'm very proud to be a part of a team and a company that is very much committed to diversity inclusion in all forms, and especially in the space of veterans engagement. And we actually use the terminology veterans and supporters or their families, because we know it's not just helping the veterans coming in with employment, but it's also helping the families and supporting the families of our active men and women who serve with the company and with the country. So we are delighted to have General Foote here with us, or as we're calling her, our visiting rock star. She has a trail of groupies that are following around our headquarters this morning.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but our commitment to hiring and supporting veterans, it's deep. It is part of our long history. It goes really back to our original founder. And even present day, we work with our talent acquisition team. We work with our managers across the business. We provide toolkits on helping our managers understand what a veteran or military service looks like. And we work with our recruiters on how to understand what military service and a resume, how that might be transferable or relatable to the skills and experiences we're looking for. So 100% agree with you and General Foote that this is a very, very talented pool of candidates that we really need to be not only actively attracting, but employing and engaging, tapping into the skill sets that these valuable men and women bring to our organization.
Well, they have the personality skill sets in order to absorb that concept. But it's interesting because sometimes companies make the mistake of saying, I will only hire you if you have experience in this particular thing. And that's where they miss the boat, because such as in the services, you're taught how to engage in the services. You don't walk in there. They don't take someone off the street and who has already performed that service. They train. And this is what companies should do. They should take the fresh intelligence of a person and a veteran and train them. And then they are theirs. It's just, I think they usually miss the mark. And I'm glad companies like Kellogg understand that there's opportunity.
You are right on, Ron. You're right on with your assessment there. Because the companies that block out hiring veterans because they look at the job that they did in the military and do not see an application for that skill in their company, they forget the fact that here's a man or a woman who throughout their military career has met more obstacles to overcome and more gates to open up on than they could ever have in civilian life. We have 21, 22-year-old veterans who've already had 2 or 3 tours in Iraq or Afghanistan. They've been under combat, back out of it, under combat again. They have been tested, tried and true. And they have picked up leadership skills that you only get when you have had that type of experience.
Correct.
So I would love to have a flock of returning veterans come to my company to work, because I know I can teach them the job, but I cannot give them what they have innately, and that is survival skills, leadership skills, and a stick-to-itiveness that is to be admired.
Which was taught to them and experienced by them through the job, and thus this is what a company really should be doing as well. There are a lot of people listening who say, okay, this sounds wonderful. How do I hook up here?
With Kellogg, I'll tell you how. There are 2 different sources of the Kellogg Diversity and Inclusion.com or KelloggCareers.com will give people more information about the programs here.
Perfect. Hey, congratulations to you, although congratulations is kind of passé. I mean, I admire what you've done, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
Well, and to Kellogg, Mark, thank you for certainly your inclusion. And I appreciate talking to you today. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Not so bad today, actually, when I checked it out. It's pretty good.
Always, all right.
Always good to talk to you. You're always bringing us great ideas, and I'm looking forward to it again.
All right. Well, super. Let's do it.
Let's do it. What have you got in the bag of tricks today? Let's open the bag.
Well, first off, I have to say congratulations. Let's talk about those Red Sox just for a minute. Yay.
Well, first of all, I had nothing to do with it, but you're welcome.
Well, how much fun was that, though? That see, right there, you guys have a reason to celebrate this fall and take off, and so many great options up there with the leaves changing. But, Ron, I just love, once we hit Halloween, I love November because it's a wonderful month to travel. This is that famous shoulder season, so you can plan your pre-holiday escape, get rid of some of the stress before we get into the holiday season. And there are all kinds of colorful and delicious fall festivals. Plus, it's the perfect time for an uncrowded and affordable beach vacation.
Well, you always find the right places to go, so we always look for that. So what are some great places to go that are feasible?
Well, first off, let's talk about festivals. Okay. Now that we've covered the Red Sox, let's talk about festivals. We don't have our celebration parade happening here, but we do in New Orleans have a parade for everything else. We also have festivals that celebrate food because we love to eat so much. And some of my favorites are coming up. The Oak Street Po' Boy Fest is happening on 11/11. The Treme Creole Gumbo Fest is happening the weekend of November 17th and 18th. And it's just a super time to come down here to New Orleans because we are pretty much finished with that unbearable heat that we've had all summer, and we don't really get a crazy winter, but this is just a really fun time to be outside, walk along the Mississippi River, and listen to some good music and eat some fantastic food. And that Po' Boy Festival in particular can be a lot of fun. So that's one great option for you.
That sounds good.
Now, if you want to head to the beach and maybe let somebody else do the cooking for Thanksgiving or even before then, head down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because they have all kinds of fall and winter deals. I've seen rooms right now for as little as $44. So $44 for 60 miles of coastline sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Pretty good.
And also, Ron, if you want to do some good for someone else this Veterans Day, November 11th, they are having a benefit concert for people impacted by Hurricane Florence. So that's going to happen. The tickets start at just $50. It's at the ticketreturn.com field where the minor league team, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, play. So that's going to happen. They've got a whole bunch of great country music artists coming, even Darius Rucker from South Carolina. So great opportunity there, a great excuse to go to the beach and also help somebody else out.
Well, let me ask you very quickly, because there was a hurricane there recently. A lot of people may in the back of their minds figure that, well, maybe I'm going to be restricted in what I can do.
Well, Myrtle Beach proper wasn't impacted. The Grand Strand area is 100% up and running. Now, when we talk about there are other parts of the country. Panama City was obviously Panama City Beach was very much affected. It's very important whenever you're traveling to a destination that was impacted by severe weather, you want to go online to the tourism board websites and kind of check things out. I also recommend, if you are worried at all, call the hotel or resort where you're planning to stay, or if you're renting a home, call the agency and just kind of confirm that things are good to go. But definitely the Myrtle Beach area is up and running and welcoming visitors. So
very good.
Great time to go there.
Okay.
Something else, Ron, if you just want to stay home and you're dealing with any kind of rainy weather, this is the perfect time. Beginning of November is a good time to look at all of the travels you've done since January. Look back on your year and maybe create some super travel-inspired gifts. And that will take away some of the stress later in December when you're scrambling to check off your list. Well, Shutterfly, Snapfish, they're having great deals right now where you can get up to 75% off on photo books, maybe make a calendar with all your travels, or, that can be hard because you're going through all your pictures going, how can I narrow it down to 12? But it can be a lot of fun, too, and it gives you a chance to have kind of an at-home getaway reflecting on everything good you did all year long.
Wow, some great ideas. Got anything else in the bag?
Oh, just, I've got lots and lots of ideas. Do you have your plans for the holidays yet?
I haven't really thought about it. I am going to plan a trip to New York, oddly enough, because, there's always something to do there. But the idea is just get out and go somewhere.
Well, absolutely. New York during the holidays, fantastic. That has to be a bucket list destination for everyone. And, Ron, don't procrastinate. It is already November 2nd, so get out there. If you see a deal online, grab it. One of the biggest mistakes travelers make is waiting for a good deal to get better. But if you see something that fits your budget and your time frame, jump on it. Also, this is a great time to look ahead at 2019 for special occasions, milestone birthdays, and if you are looking now, you might even be able to use your award tickets. So great time to kind of check that out. And also prepare for holiday TSA. Pack your ankle socks. That's one of my pet peeves, seeing people walk through the security lines in their bare feet. Now, this has been going on for years. We all know we have to take our shoes off in most cases, unless you're pre-check. So bring an extra pair of little footy socks in your carry-on if you don't already have some on.
I would have never thought of that. I like to go through naked. Kidding, that's a joke. That's a joke. It saves a lot of time. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. You'll get stopped for one reason or another.
Right. Well, Stephanie Oswald is the Travel Girl and Travel Girl magazine. How can we get more information about all of this?
Sure. Well, Ron, I have a few websites for you. If you want to check out our wonderful, yummy festivals down here in New Orleans, go to the new Tourism Board website. It is just very simple, neworleans.com. So check that out. Also, if you want to check out those beach deals, and again, maybe let somebody else do the cooking for Thanksgiving this year, you can do a $20 buffet and then go walk on the beach, 60 miles of coastline. Visit myrtlebeach.com. And, of course, please go to Travel Girl Inc., travelgirlinc.com. You can check out our fall issue. We have Tamia and Grant Hill on the cover, and inside some super getaways from Wales to Mexico to Hot Springs, Arkansas, where there are some super spas. And it's always nice to go to a spa this time of year and get renewed for what lies ahead.
Cool. Now, I'm going to ask you a question beyond all of this. If you want to book a room in a hotel and you see that these discount places are offering these special rates, but you can't cancel necessarily, when you call the hotel, will they also sometimes offer you a special deal or match what the special deal things are from other companies?
Yes, they usually will. And what I recommend is doing your homework. You know, maybe you're going to go do your research online. You can go to some of the big search engines like Expedia or Kayak, and then see what they're offering, and then call the hotel directly. Let them know what you saw online. But also, if you are a member, if you go to hotels.com or booking.com, you can also find great reviews from other people that will tell you about the place that you're looking to book. You can also sometimes get some special discounts if you sign up with your email or you download the apps. For some of these websites, you can often get some special discounts that will be cheaper than what the hotel's offering. But most times, if you call the hotel directly and tell them what you saw online, they will try to match it. I
had a situation recently where I went to a place on one of these discount things, and I had to change my room because I didn't like it, or I don't remember. I think the neighbors or something. And they said, no, we can't change the room because you didn't book through us. Your room was booked through this other company. You'd have to contact them. And I thought, okay, well, that doesn't happen all the time, but that wasn't too good. Yeah.
No, that could be a pain, but it's also important. That's why it's important when you do book through a third party, make sure you keep the 800 number for their customer service line, because most of those companies do have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week customer service lines, and they want you to be happy too, because they know that's the power of the Internet. Once someone has a bad experience, you know, the old saying, something bad happens, you tell 10 people, something good happens, you tell one.
That's true.
So they want to make sure you're happy.
Yeah, these days people can actually comment on your place publicly, so that does make a difference to them.
Yeah, and Yelp and TripAdvisor are fantastic, impartial options when it comes to checking on reviews for a destination or a accommodation place.
Well, I always end up knowing more than I did before I talked to you, so that's a good thing. One more time, the general place to go?
Thank you, Ron. Oh, please go to travelgirlinc.com and follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet out some of these tips as well. My Twitter address is travelgirlsteph, travelgirl, S-T-E-P-H.
Perfect. Stephanie Oswald, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Ron. Happy travels this fall.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, Ron. How are you?
I'm great. Chuck Gorman joins us. He's VP Entertainment and Electronics Department there of Barnes & Noble. We've spoken to him before, because we were quite amazed at a point, and we didn't talk that long ago, that vinyl is actually making a gigantic comeback, and many people, no matter what age they were, their mouths dropped open and said, what, things come back like that? And yeah, they do, and I guess every time we talk, it gets bigger. That didn't sound right.
That's very true, Ron, and we're talking because we're celebrating Vinyl Weekend coming up. November 16th through November 18th, which is just a celebration of all things vinyl and turntables in Barnes & Noble stores.
And now, in order for that to occur, there has to be the equipment and there has to be the vinyl to play, and I guess that's also growing.
Oh, absolutely. Both categories, both turntables and vinyl records, are areas of growth. Their vinyl records, if you look at any of the statistics from the music industry, are one of the bright spots. And vinyl is really, probably when we first spoke, vinyl was a little more of a niche thing, and it was people rebuilding collections and people sort of returning to their roots and listening to music. But vinyl is really, it's transformed into a category that there's something for everyone. And we're really excited about it. And this weekend, we actually, in fact, have a variety of different exclusives, everything from picture discs for the Harry Potter movie soundtracks to Josh Groban's Bridges, which we have exclusively for a couple of weeks, a version of Michael Bublé's Love, Cher's Dancing Queen, but also more contemporary artists like Mumford & Sons. We have an exclusive version of Delta, their newest record, as well as Elle King's Shake the Spirit.
Yeah, I missed the phrase "I'm putting out an album," because literally you couldn't say that. Now you can again, I suppose, for some people.
Yeah,
and of course,
well, it's great when you talk about pulling out an album. The
Yeah.
idea of having the great package
Yes.
is amazing. Having the liner notes, having the pictures, and having this tangible thing you
Yeah.
can hold. A CD or a cassette never gave me that, and a digital file certainly does.
Well, certainly those digital files, ridiculous. Yeah, that was part of the deal. That was part of the marketing. That was part of the fun to go home and have this entire package. And while you were listening to the music, you would peruse the album and the inserts and all that. It was part of the whole deal. I'm glad that's coming back. One of my problems when turntables were going out of style were needles. I couldn't find them. And I figured, well, they're just not going to make them anymore because they just don't. Like they don't make 8-track and cassettes anymore. Are needles indeed being manufactured again?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, in some of our stores and on our website, we have a selection of needles that you can purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we have 30% off all Krasny turntables and accessories.
Yeah.
And Krasny is one of the bigger manufacturers of needles as well as turntables.
Now, that would be applicable to the newer generation of turntables, I would assume, only.
Well, the needles, again, depending on your turntable,
Yeah.
you'd have to check, but the needles are pretty universal in many cases.
Okay, interesting. So there's a possibility I could actually listen to items that I had like 40 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, if you didn't want to go through and replace the needle, we have everything from entry-level turntables to packages that include speakers, Bluetooth speakers, in fact, so that you have a sort of a quick, easy setup so you can play your vinyl on new equipment, not just old equipment.
You're blowing my mind here. I don't even know now I don't know what century I'm in. Okay. All right, so we're celebrating that now. So tell me the turn of events here. This is going on for the weekend, or well, I guess you can get this anytime though.
It's
with
for
the holidays.
3 days, starting on November 16th.
Yeah.
So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Yeah.
16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
And all stores will have 10% off all vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have, as I mentioned, 30% off Krasny turntables and accessories.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, if you come in and you buy a vinyl record, you can get a free tall coffee, iced or hot, with that purchase. And if you buy 2 vinyl records or a turntable, we have free totes while supplies last in store as well.
Okay. And of course, we're talking about Barnes & Noble. It's the only bookstore left, really. But that's what we're talking about. So visit and go there anyway and just browse around. And for anybody, for nostalgia purposes alone, what a great holiday gift, reminding them of those days that have passed that are actually coming back again. Just don't bring back some of that clothing if you don't mind.
I don't think you have any worries there. Right. I just want to mention real quick that it's not just for nostalgia purposes. Mm-hmm. Vinyl is a great way if there's someone in your life that loves new music and has a favorite band or a favorite artist. Mm-hmm. Getting them introduced to vinyl and a turntable is an absolutely fabulous holiday gift.
Sounds great. Chuck, always good to talk to you.
Likewise, Ron. Have a good day.
Thank you. Other than going into the stores, which most people can do, some people can't, and of course they can go to the website, the barnesandnoble.com, I would assume?
Yeah. Yep, if you go to bn.com/vinyl day, you can get more information.
There you go.
And I'd also say, if you're not sure really of what we're doing or you're curious for more information, just contact your local store. Beautiful. If you give them a call, they can give you everything happening locally as well.
Good deal. Thank you so much for your time today, Chuck.
Thank you.
Take care.
Ron.
Hey, how you doing, Paul?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Paul Croughton is editor-in-chief of the Robb Report. Those are the experts in letting us know what items are worthy of us. Thanks for being with us today. We're coming into the holiday season, unfortunately. Fortunately, unfortunately, it's just so tumultuous. And a lot of people want to give really nice gifts, luxurious types of gifts. Sometimes they're unaffordable, but, I mean, how can you direct us in that area?
So I think there's been a rise of people wanting gifts with the backstory, with provenance, with kind of heritage.
Yeah.
Anyone can give anything they go and find at the hardware store to somebody, but actually to take a bit of time to find something with a real story behind it it just shows you care a little bit more. Yeah. And we've got some stuff here that we're going to show you today.
Okay, let's do it.
So for the spirits drinker, we have a cognac, Hennessy Paradis Imperial. Now, what's been interesting in spirits is there's been the white spirits that kind of dominated for a long time, but we're seeing a rise of brown spirits recently. So cognacs are really stepping to the fore. Hennessy has been around for about 250 years, and this is the pinnacle of what they do, this Paradis Imperial. They make thousands of eau de vie a year, but to be in this bottle of Hennessy, they choose only 10 out of, say, 10,000 eau de vie. So it's something that's made with real precision, real craft, and takes the kind of family of master blenders a long, long time to put something like this together. And it's a really impactful, spectacular gift.
Okay, well, let me ask you now, does it come in a spectacular type of bottle?
It does. It's this beautiful bottle that kind of is a glass and silver bottle that's crafted, and it looks really special. It's more of a decanter, really, than a bottle.
Because that's part of it, the aesthetics of it. And then, as you said, there's the backstory. How would the recipient of the gift know the backstory on the cognac?
You'd have to tell them. You make sure they understand that what they're getting is good.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. That's funny. I would go to the internet and print it out personally because I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to them.
Stamp it on the wall or something.
Okay. All right. So that's it for spirits. Although that's kind of all I need. But going
that would keep me quiet.
Yes, that would satisfy me greatly. A little snifter there, and now you're talking. Anyway, let's get beyond that. What about the same category for foods?
So food, if you're hosting a family get-together or a meal this holiday season, you're going to get lots of bottles of champagne or wine. You're going to get people bringing you boxes of chocolates, and there's nothing wrong with all of those. But a gift that's really surprising, that's going to really make an impact, is a bottle of balsamic vinegar. Now, that might not sound that exciting, but this particular balsamic, Il Buco Alimentare, is really unique. It's made, it's produced over 10 years, and only about 30 ounces are released every year. And over 10 years, it goes into 6 different wooden barrels. So it's like wine, they put it into oak barrels to get a certain kind of flavor. They do the same thing with this vinegar. And they have acacia barrels, they have chestnut, and they move it through these barrels over the years and keep tasting it and just move it around just to get the right parts of flavor into this flavor profile. So that's a pretty crazy gift. You think of just a little small bottle of vinegar can have this amazing backstory, and it's really rich and syrupy. If you pour it over some strawberries and ice cream and have some cognac with it as well, you'll be pretty set for the afternoon, I'd say.
All right. Well, you've just given me an idea for my entire Thanksgiving meal: cognac and balsamic vinegar.
Ice cream and strawberries.
Cool.
That's all you need.
That's about it. Now, what about for accessories?
So accessories. Watches are a big part of what we do at Robb Report. Our readers are really into watches, not just for what they look like, but what they are, how they're made, and they're little machines you have on your wrist. They're really kind of special things. And the watches we're looking at the moment are by Parmigiani. Now, it's a relatively young company in watchmaking terms. They're only 20 or so years old, but they really have already kind of leapt to the top of the tree in terms of the movements they produce. The one that we really like here is an integrated chronograph, which means the chronograph component is built into the movement rather than with others it's kind of on top of. So it's a really difficult thing to produce. There's not many watchmaking companies that can do it, but they've managed to do it, and the watch they put it in is incredibly elegant and refined. And if that was under my Christmas tree this holiday, I'd be pretty pleased.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the Hennessy cognac, and I'm going to put it in a snifter and raise it up using the hand that has the watch on it.
There you go.
And then I'm going to put it down and move over to the plate and have some of the ice cream with the balsamic. There you go.
Good.
That's pretty much my whole deal.
Good.
That's pretty. It makes sense to get away from buying 1,000 crappy gifts and to give somebody 3 or 4 really significant items.
Right, and the vinegar is only $100. I'm going to say only. It's not nothing, but in the terms of kind of how much people tend to spend, that's not a huge amount to spend on something that's got that story and that backstory. Obviously, the watch is a shade higher, but that's not too bad.
Pretty cool. Where do I get more information about some of these ideas?
You can get all of these items are in the Christmas gift guide, Robb Report, which is out on December the 4th, or robreport.com. Or for the Hennessy, you can check out hennessy.com/US.
Very cool. Yeah, I would get one of those items at least for somebody special, and they'll go, whoa, this is different than plastic straws. This is pretty good. Okay. Paul, thank you so much for your time today.
It's a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ron.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Dale Atkins and Amanda Salzauer joins us. We're talking about the kindness advantage, cultivating compassionate and connected children. And interesting, is this something that you feel is not being regarded these days?
Yes, we feel it is not being regarded in the way that we would hope it would be, and we really feel that when people are much more aware of the importance of kindness and the impact of kindness, that encouraging it in our children is really something very important to do. And hopefully that will change, and people will be not only kinder, but more empathic, and we would see less rude behavior, and we would have a gentler society. And that's why we thought it was important to write.
Yeah, no, it is important to write, especially these days when we seem to be going in the opposite direction by example of certain adults. So, this is important. It's to get back to where it was. Did religion used to kind of play a part in this, as far as I can understand? Is that true?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Yeah, didn't religion at a point in our past, didn't that kind of promote kindness? Was that a part of it at a point?
You know, that's a very, very good point. And I think regardless of the religion, most of the world's religions believe in the golden rule.
Yeah.
Do unto others as you would have others do unto you.
Yes.
And I think that that's something we have, again, kind of moved away from in recent history. And we really believe, and we actually have that line in the book, that it's so important for parents to ask themselves that question.
Sure.
And think about their own behavior and modeling that type of kindness and behavior, exactly, and then helping their children see the importance of that and training them to have those kindness habits.
Exactly. That's the bottom line. The examples, children at that tender age take on the full example of their parents. So this is really about the parents, I think, more than this the children, because they that's where they tend to look. That's their role model. Very, very important. And I guess I suppose is what you're saying is parents, be careful about how you act yourselves.
You know, Ron, that's exactly what we're saying. We're saying that it's not only the parent role model of their behavior, which is so important in the small things, in the big things, hold the door for someone, speak kindly to someone, make eye contact when when you're getting changed at the restaurant, and say, really hope you're having a good day, and make a connection with a human being.
Exactly.
It's not only the role modeling, it's also the conversation about what you're doing. So if you're role modeling volunteering or doing some charity work, talk to your children about it. Don't just do it. Yes. Tell them the impact it has on you and on the people that you're serving or on the community that you're serving. Because children, particularly teenagers, who have parents who role model for their lives, they become giving teenagers. Mm-hmm. They're much more likely to do that. And also, by the way, when we talk about role modeling, parents who read to their kids when they're younger are more likely to have giving kids when those kids are teenagers, because they realize there's a way that they can impact the world through the stories that are read.
Yeah, that seems to be part two, is to create a personal connection with your child, as opposed to not raising them at all, kind of, in a sense. That connection keeps them grounded and connected. And reading to a child and discussing it is like, man, that's baseline. That's wonderful. Okay. How do you, what if you have a child who apparently is not following the kindness path as you would like them to? What do you do in that case?
Well, there are several different things you can do. And I think to some extent it depends on the age of your child. So if you are at the playground with your 2-year-old and they go to hit another kid over the head with a shovel, obviously you're going to intervene in that very moment. Right. However, if you have an older child, the conversation is going to be a little bit different, and the way you intervene is going to be a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we think is very important for parents to understand is that you don't have to intervene in the very moment, because we all get angry and frustrated and disappointed sometimes as parents if we see our children doing things that are unkind or that go against the values we're trying to instill in them. So the goal is to kind of take a moment, take a breath. You can even go back and revisit the conversation later in the day or the next day. Mm-hmm. But try also to understand what's going on for your child, why it is that they're being unkind. Mm. Sometimes kids are unkind if they're afraid, in a situation where they're fearful and they don't know what else to do and they kind of lash out. Sometimes kids are unkind if they're kind of swept up in a group of other kids who are being unkind. Mm-hmm. And sometimes kids don't even realize that a behavior or a comment is unkind. So our goal as parents is to revisit the situation at a time when we can have a meaningful conversation, try to make it a teachable moment for our children. And you might want to do something like say, when I saw you come off the field during the soccer game and say to Jenny, I can't believe you missed that shot. You made us lose the game. Yeah. How do you think that made her feel?
Exactly.
How would you feel if another child said that to you? Yeah. And try to help them come up with other possibilities for things that they might say or do in a situation. Yeah. And you want to be very clear that what your family values are. And if your family value is kindness, you want to reiterate that. Exactly.
Your book is a good example of something here. This topic. There are no lessons. There are no classes on how to raise a child. There are classes on how to deliver a child, but not how to raise a kind child, a smart child, a connected child, a caring child, a viable member of society. There are no classes on that. And it's kind of odd, because that's the most consequential thing you can do is raise another life and then release it into the world. Yet nothing at all. So I'm glad you're doing this.
Thank you. We really appreciate the support, because it's so interesting. And one of the things you said has to do with something that, again, goes back to your first question of, what's going on here. And what's going on here is particularly with preschool children. Yes. Parents spend most of their time with preschoolers. And when you think about, the age arc of kids, you have a lot of time with your preschoolers. Mm-hmm. And parents often will praise their preschoolers for their smarts, for their talents in sports, for their talents in music. And we have so many examples, and research really supports this, that there are so many kind acts that little children do, and their parents don't notice them, or if they notice them, they don't attend to them. So when you talk about, raising kind kids, so much of it is noticing and then reinforcing and letting your kids know that you appreciate when they're doing a good thing, when they helped their neighbor, when they fed the cat, when they noticed that the dog, needed to be brushed and they brushed the dog, or they comforted their little sister. These are the kinds of things that encourage us to do more kindness, because the more kind acts that we do, the more likely we are going to do more. And that then allows us to want to do more. But as parents, our responsibility is, to raise the best kids we can. And parents want their kids to be kind. It's not that they don't want them to be kind. It's just that so often the research that shows how you do it doesn't get filtered down into those, parenting coffee classes.
Yeah. Well, now how can we get more information on this?
You can visit our website, which is www.thekindnessadvantagebook.com. And through our website, people can order copies of the book, which we certainly hope they'll do. And we also have a page called Share Your Story. And what we hope, because as you said, there really aren't classes for parents to learn all about this, is we hope that readers will write in, share with us a kind deed that a child did, an activity that you're doing as a family to help encourage empathy and kindness in your child. And we hope that this will start to create a community for people to learn more about ways to raise kind, compassionate, and connected children.
And boy, in this atmosphere, do we need that realization. So good timing. Dale and Amanda, if I may call you so, thank you so much for your time and what you do. You take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Reny Partain joins us, and Amy Folker, and we're talking about something that unfortunately we've been talking about more and more every single time we turn around, and that's diabetes, because it seems to become more prevalent. It might have always been. Maybe we weren't talking about it. I don't know. But, of course, it's a concern. Thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Many people already are dealing with diabetes, and then there are a lot of people in the waiting area who have been told that, you're next. So it's a concern for almost everybody, and it's not necessarily an age situation. It can be, but not necessarily. It does become, is it more prevalent, or is it that we're talking about it more?
It is more prevalent. I think we're talking about it more, but the rates definitely, every time the CDC comes out with numbers, it seems that there's more and more people in the U.S. Right now we're at 30 million people in the U.S. that have diabetes.
Wow. That's considered an epidemic, I would assume.
It certainly is. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And for many of us, it's not our fault. It just is. It's hereditary. In other situations, it's because we're being poisoned by sugar. So I don't know.
Well, it is true that for type 2 diabetes, there's a hereditary component. Also, a lot of our food products that we have available today, people do eat a lot more carbohydrate. We're less active than we used to be in the past, and all these things are contributing.
And for me, with type 1 diabetes, it's an autoimmune disorder, so there was really nothing I could do to prevent it, and that was a lot of genetics at play as well.
Absolutely. I think people kind of forget that type 1 and type 2 diabetes, although there's some similarities there, they really are two different diseases.
Yes, that I do understand. There's no question about that. And of course, it can be managed with proper monitoring, as you can attest to.
Absolutely. When you have diabetes, type 1 or type 2, it's very important that you monitor your glucose levels. You need to know if your glucose level is in range, if it's getting too high, if it's getting too low, so that you can take action to get it back to where it needs to go.
Yeah. And now I understand that there's a new way of monitoring, which I don't quite understand, and I'm sure you'll explain it to me. Of course, we've been used to hearing about the finger prick and the little thing going on, which seems annoying,
right,
but yet necessary. And I guess everybody was always saying, well, when do we not have to do that anymore all the time? And I guess now there's an answer.
Yes, there is. I've been in the diabetes treatment world for 16 years, and people have been asking me for all that time, when am I going to not have to poke my finger? And finally, the new technology is here, and people using the Abbott's Freestyle Libre, they can check their glucose level without poking their finger. They can know not only what their glucose level is, but is it going up, is it going down, and how fast it's traveling. So it is really exciting, the Freestyle Libre technology.
Now, Reny, are you doing this new technology now?
I am using the new Abbott Freestyle Libre sensor, and it's been great. It's so awesome to have this type of technology because, like Amy was saying, it gives me such rich data to be able to make decisions about how I'm going to manage my glucose levels.
Yeah. Now, how is this actually performed? In other words, is there an implant or what's happening?
That's a great question. So there is a sensor that's on the back of my, it's on my right arm today, and I get to wear it for 14 days at a time, and it's about the size of 2 stacked quarters.
Okay.
And then I have a reader that I would just scan over my arm where the sensor is located, and I would get a graph that would show up that tells me not only what my current glucose level is, but it gives me trend arrows. So am I rising, am I falling? And then I can actually go back and look at all of my glucose levels for the past 8 hours.
Ooh.
What my trend has been.
This has really changed diabetes management.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think quality of life for people like Reny.
Now, all right, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm not understanding. So is it something that is strapped to your body or something that is implanted in the skin?
Yeah, sorry, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So the sensor itself is on the outside, but there is a part of the sensor that does go under the skin where it's reading the interstitial fluid. So there is a part I use, it kind of feels like a shot when I give it or when I put it on the first time.
Yeah.
Then after I put it on, I don't even notice it. So I'm very active. It gets bumped a lot when I'm, working out, things like that, and it doesn't hurt once it's
And how long? And how long until you have to reinsert, or what's the lifespan of that?
So the new Abbott Freestyle Libre is approved for 14 days. So for 2 weeks, I don't have to worry about it, which is great.
That's very cool. Wow. And it actually gives you more information than you could possibly really even ask for, but is probably very helpful.
Endocrinologist is thrilled. She gets so much data and lots and lots of information. So it makes going to appointments a lot more meaningful for me because we can make really good changes and really fine-tune the management.
Well, it's one hell of an advancement, I'll tell you that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, is this available on the market for everybody, or is this still experimental?
No, this is available at pharmacies. I would recommend that people visit freestylelibre.us, and they can find out about their coverage through their insurance, and even Medicare is covering this. You do need a prescription, so you need to see your physician or your endocrinologist or your nurse practitioner to get a prescription.
Okay. Let me ask you one more thing there, Reny. You said that you exercise a lot?
I do.
Does that really, between you and me, no one else is listening, does that really help with the levels and the management thereof, or is it, you feel healthier?
People with diabetes or not, you should always be active. Now, it's easier said than done. For me, I really find that my glucose levels stay more stable when I'm exercising regularly. And I actually just ran the Chicago Marathon, which was really interesting. But that had a really positive impact on my glucose levels, and which I could see using the Abbott Freestyle Libre trends and looking at the logbook. But yeah, it helps kind of flatten out the really high highs and the really low lows. So I think it's definitely worth it and worth exercising.
You're way healthier than I am. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right, one more time we're going to get more information and speak to my doctor, if that is the case, about this possibility.
Yeah, the best place to go is online at freestylelibre.us.
Okay. And one more question for your doctor. Should specialty doctors already be aware of this? Should they be introducing this to their patients, or is it of the patient's responsibility or interest to mention it to their doctors, or is it both ways?
I think it goes both ways. I think the patient should show an interest in it, ask about it.
Yeah.
Endocrinologists, if you're seeing a diabetes specialist or if you're seeing your diabetes educator, they all will have a lot of information and experience with this.
Okay.
It's been available to patients by prescription for about 1 year now.
Excellent. Thank you so much to the both of you. This has been enlightening and a good thing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, good morning, Ron.
Hey, Chris. It's Chris Byrne, the toy guy. I was concerned that there was something wrong with you. I hadn't heard from you in 3 days.
No, I'm good. I was fighting my way back through the snow, so good talk to you.
Yeah, I know. This is the time of year that we talk more frequently because this is when people buy gifts and toys for both children and adults even. So I guess I got to ask you, as I do every year, what are your top picks?
Well, we got a lot of great ones. We've been working with and reviewing tons of toys this year, and some of the best I've found, the family is really gathering around the video game console now more than ever. 2 games that we've been playing that we really love. One is called Starlink Battle for Atlas. It came out in October from Ubisoft. And this is part of the trend where physical toys interact with the digital game online. So you actually play the game, but you have spaceships, starships, you attach to the controller. And when you attach them to the controller, they show up in the game. So the strategy is all about how do I customize my ship to solve the challenges. Great social play for kids. It's E for everyone, 10 and up. Works on all platforms, $74.99. And the other game you're going to want to burn off that turkey, it's called Just Dance 2019. It's got 40 of the hottest tracks right now. We've got Cardi B, Bruno Mars. There's even a kids mode, which is really all about getting kids moving and dancing. Really super fun. That's about $39.99.
Okay, all right. That's different. Now, what about you're a parent or a caregiver and you want to make sure that your toy, your gift has a lasting, somewhat educational and, cooperative kind of effect?
That's really an important thing. We talk a lot about extended play value. In the preschool area, the Go-Go Smart Wheels Mickey Choo Choo Express is the next iteration of the Go-Go Smart Wheels line. This is from B-Tech. This is a modular, beautifully colored track set that kids can build, and the train, kids push it around. It goes over different what they call smart points and activates things in the train. What we think this is so important about this is for kids 1 to 5. So kids really are developing and changing in that point, in that state range. So they're going from sort of randomly pushing things around to more directed, active play. And, of course, you get to bring them along with it, which is really fun. And the other one that's really great for kids at this age, games really are great for social, emotional growth, all kinds of really good fun. One we've been having a bunch of fun with is called Yeti Set Go. That's from Play Monster. And basically it's 4 Yetis around a mountain, and you have to bop their heads to get them to kick meatballs onto the mountain.
Well, of course.
Totally reminds you of Hungry Hungry Hippos. That's about $24.99 from Play Monster.
Okay. There was a time in our toy career, you're the toy guy, so you probably know this, when it was dolls and Cabbage Patch and that kind of thing. Is it now more of an interactive, or is it more of a smart kind of thing, or are there some items that are also like collectibles?
There's a lot of collectibles out there, a lot of collectible doll play out there. When we've seen a lot of that, you've seen things like Shopkins and all of those. One line that we like is called Hairdorables. The interactive part comes from YouTube channels. The Hairdorables have a YouTube channel, and these dolls come off it. They're probably about 4 inches tall, got big hair, 11 different things to unwrap as you open them up, and it's all about the play. and collecting. There's 36 in the first collection. It's all about play, collecting, and interaction among the kids who love them.
Okay. What else is hot?
Well, can you believe it's been 20 years since since Harry Potter came out?
Yeah.
Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts Great Hall, blowing out of stores. It's got 4 levels of play. It really does look like the Great Hall from the movie. Plus, it's got 10 different minifigures, some of the best characters. And one that would have had me spend even more time in detention than I did, the toilet paper blaster's skid shot. This is from Jack Specific. And basically, you attach a roll of toilet paper to a blaster, and you push it through, and you actually shoot spitballs. It's really super. They go about 30 feet, and a roll of toilet paper gives you 350 spitballs. I'm just saying.
Wow.
That's about $19.99. Probably best to play with that one outside if you're shooting wet toilet paper at each other.
I would hope so, yeah. And I understand one of the hottest books this year is a book called Toy Time.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. That's well, look back at some of the hottest toys from the 50s to the 80s.
Which is
and
fun.
It really does the background story on some of these toys that the parents loved. It makes a great gift.
It really, I mean, seriously, that's like what better gift than the history of toy kind of and all the big stuff that happened. That's a great idea. I wish I could meet the author sometime, but I guess that's impossible.
You're so kind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, Chris is, of course, the author of Toy Time, and it is fascinating. So pick that up. What is so hot that I better get it as soon as I can?
Well, there's a bunch of things out there, and one that's really sort of surprised us is the Rideables pony from Kid Tracks.
Yeah.
This is a large pony that a kid can ride on, and it's all about interacting with the pony, nurturing play as well as a ride on. That's $399. It's only at Walmart, but it is selling out. It's breaking a lot of sales records for Walmart. They're telling me.
There you go. That's what we need to know.
Yeah.
Did anybody invent, remember the game Operation?
Oh, yes.
Did they ever make one in the figure of Donald Trump where you try to do a brain operation?
I'm not going to take the bait on that one, but no.
All right, no bait going. Okay, all right. Any final tips for us?
I definitely think that if you see things you want, buy them now. Things are going to sell out. Why stress yourself out? Check online for different deals. eBay has a lot of new toys. Walmart, Amazon, all of those guys out there. And there's even some pop-up stores. But definitely don't stress out. And we tell people, don't overspend if you can't get something. Keep it reasonable if you're buying something from a seller. You don't want to spend, a fortune for a toy that may not last a long time.
How do you drop the hint to your child? Let's say you're buying a toy for a child. How do you drop a hint as to what they may want without saying, "I'm going to get you a toy. Tell me what you would like"? How do you do that?
Well, I always think it's great to talk to kids about toys. Every kid has a different play style. So what we don't say the hot toy is only hot if it's hot for your child, because every child has different tastes. So knowing what they like to play with and finding toys that reflect that is always a recipe for success.
Very cool. So where do we get more information about all of this?
Come see us at thetoyguy.com.
Thetoyguy.com, and there you'll see some of the recommendations that might be great for you this year. Hey, it's always fun to talk to you. We'll talk again probably sooner than I think.
Yeah, probably around Cyber Monday when we start.
Chris, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. There you have it, my friends. I'll be back again very soon with a regular program. Thank you for listening to this particular interview special. Until next time, I wish you peace.